All right, welcome everyone to Community Appreciation Night. Just want to let everybody know our celebration is being recorded, so you can see it anytime. My understanding now is I think we're going to go to a staff meeting. I think I need to change my shirt to a blue shirt, so we'll be right back. And to get this evening kicked off, let's jump into that staff meeting.
Welcome everyone to the 2021 Community Appreciation Celebration, Zoom style. As we all know, 2020 was quite a year. And while COVID-19 significantly affected the ways in which volunteers were engaged, there were 988 dedicated City of Kirkland volunteers who contributed more than 11,000 hours. And that doesn't even include boards and commissions, neighborhoods, and others. Thanks to city volunteers, we were able to monitor 88 pedestrian flagged crosswalks, maintain the Cross Kirkland Corridor Trail, weed public areas throughout town, hold the 2020 Summer Juanita Friday Market, test our city's emergency communications radio systems, and keep invasive plants reduced in parks and natural areas.
Patrick, I think there's someone in the waiting room.
Oh, great. Hey, everybody, this is Debbie. She's joining us to learn more about volunteer options.
I'm sorry. I think I was on mute. Hi, everyone. My name is Debbie, and I am so excited to volunteer for the City of Kirkland. I love Kirkland so much, and there's so many things that I can think of that I'd love to do here. Working on the CKC, weeding, gardening, helping with crosswalks. There's so many things. I kind of don't know where to start.
I understand. Lots of options is a good thing, but it can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming. I find sometimes when I'm having trouble finding my words, I sing them instead. Would you like to try this, Debbie?
Did you say sing? You think that I should sing it? Well, okay. I guess I could give it a try. Can you give me a note or a key or someplace to start? I'm wondering what it takes to be a volunteer. I'm looking for information. Might I find it here? It's more than an inclination. Hey, is there an application? Please tell me about the ways that I can volunteer.
The year 2020 was quite a year. So many wonderful people gave their time with cheer. I'll offer some fine examples, the choices of which are ample. Some of the ways that folks like you helped out round here. Ask us how we can show you all the options.
It sounds exciting.
Try it all, let your passion be your guide.
It's so inviting.
If all of that sounds fine, please join us anytime. We'll show you how to volunteer.
Let me tell you about the way in which I volunteer. After consideration, things will soon be clear. I replace crosswalk flags. Pedestrian safety is my bag. So grab a flag and bring some swag and join me here.
Let me tell you about the way in which I
volunteer.
I'm passionate about nature and
The parks round here.
We remove invasive plants. In spaces we do enchant.
In rain or shine, but not in wind, throughout the year. Ask us how we can show you all the options. We'll surely show you. Try it all, let your passion be your guide. We'll get to know you. If all of that sounds fine, please join us anytime. Come on and be a volunteer.
Let me tell you about the emergency radio team. Volunteers to assist as the situation deems. It requires some extra training, but no one is complaining. 'cause everyone works so hard with such esteem. Ask us how we can show you all the options.
We'll surely show you.
Try it all, let your passion be your guide.
We'll get to know you.
If all of that sounds fine, please join us anytime. Come on and be a volunteer. Neighborhood associations meet to help the city find its way. A space for all is a promise we will keep, a place to live and work and play. Boards and commissions always have their say to help the city with the issues of the day and keep the magic of the amazing Kirkland way. Come on and be a volunteer. There are so many ways to help our
Community, from lake and our beaches to the sea.
CKC.
Helping others is my mission. I could serve on the planning commission. Find some time, I'd like to sign on to the team.
Ask us how we can show you all the options.
We'll surely show you.
Try it all, let your passion be your guide.
We'll get to know you.
If all of that sounds fine, now's the splendid time. Come join our team of volunteers. If all of that sounds fine, now's the splendid time. Come join our team of volunteers.
Tonight's the night we celebrate you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that was an awful lot of fun, Jay. Maybe we should sing the whole thing tonight. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't sing. Maybe we just move on with the show.
Let's move on with the show. And Neil, you are a singer. I can see that. You even sang the extra words. Well done. Okay, so let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the first ever virtual and hopefully last virtual Community Appreciation Night. This is truly one of my favorite nights of the year because this is the one night where we get to honor and recognize some of the most hardworking and dedicated members of our community, our volunteers. Kirkland is fortunate to have such a robust and all-encompassing level of volunteer engagement. Our volunteers are the lifeblood of our city and the vibrant and integral part of everything we do. They give back in many ways through our city volunteer programs. They're vital members of our boards and commissions, and they run our vibrant neighborhood associations, and they advise through specific civic engagement initiatives. This community first mindset has been woven into the fabric of Kirkland by great community icons past and present, whose legacy of service lives on in our younger generations. For this, we are deeply grateful. As Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. once stated so eloquently, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? We learned a lot in 2020, but one of the most gratifying lessons was this: not even a global pandemic could stop the Kirkland community from doing what they could in service to one another.
Things certainly look different in 2020, but our community's desire to volunteer their time and service to something larger than themselves has never been stronger. Several of the city's volunteer program assignments had to be temporarily placed on pause, as did several board and commission meetings and neighborhood association meetings. However, we were excited to see the resiliency of our various civic volunteers as you all adapted to the challenges of the pandemic. Our volunteers are nothing if not humble, but luckily we're more than happy to showcase all that they do for others. We will start this celebration with a recognition of our city volunteer engagements. Next, we'll recognize the leaders of our neighborhood associations and then the members of our boards and commissions. Finally, we'll recognize the members of two civic engagement initiatives of 2020, our Community Safety Advisory Group, aka ComSAG, and our Welcoming Kirkland initiative, planning and work groups. For our volunteers, neighborhood associations, and boards and commissions, we've prepared short videos to provide background on these vital civic programs. We hope you enjoy them. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the rest of our council. Council members Neil Black, Kelly Curtis, Amy Falcone, Toby Nixon, and John Pascal. We all will be sharing tonight as we express our deep gratitude for our community's civic volunteers.
So we will start our evening recognizing volunteers who participate in Kirkland's volunteer program. These volunteers have contributed their time and talents to various city-sponsored roles for the betterment of the community throughout this past year. In 2020, despite the pandemic and its restrictions, Kirkland engaged 988 volunteers who contributed over 11,080 hours of their time and talents. These outstanding contributions represent a community benefit valued at nearly $366,000. So I'd like to turn our attention to a short video that showcases our amazing volunteer program. So it really is amazing all the ways people give back to our community. But now we are honored to give special recognition to certain volunteers who in the past year have demonstrated amazing commitment. This year, there are 8 individual and 1 team awardees in 5 separate award categories.
The first award category is leadership. This award is for the individual who demonstrates the ability to lead a group toward a goal, to provide guidance to others, to coordinate people, paper, and processes toward the attainment of a goal. Please join me in congratulating Kristen Deacon, Green Kirkland Partnership. At Edith Moulton Park leads weekend volunteer groups with cheerfulness and an educational zest, even during the pandemic. As a leader, she's willing to help anyone learn about our natural areas and regularly hosts youth groups. Since 2019, Kristen has transformed a significant portion of this challenging site from an ivy infestation to a healthier forest. She pays careful attention to detail and maximizes sweat equity within the groups she leads. Kristen was the first steward to jump back in hosting events under the COVID-19 safety guidelines, which provided Kirkland community members safe, positive volunteer experiences during tough times. Congratulations and thank you, Kristen.
The next award category is Above and Beyond the Call of Duty. This award is for the individual or group who's taken volunteerism to the next level in terms of participation and commitment. This volunteer takes extra initiative on a project, volunteers extra days and times, takes ownership of a project, and goes the extra mile to complete it. She, he, or they demonstrate dedication and commitment to their volunteer assignment above and beyond what is expected. There are 3 awardees for this category. Our first awardee is Lucy Johnston, Green Kirkland Partnership. Lucy is a newer Green Kirkland steward who saw her local park, South Rose Hill Park, overrun by invasive plants and jumped in to save the remaining native plants. Working solo and dedicating time, even in the winter twilight, this high school junior cleared nearly half the park of invasive species. Lucy also spent significant time learning about habitat restoration, developing a planting plan, and then installing and mulching plants with the help of her family. Her thoughtfulness and dedication to her local park truly exemplifies above and beyond for her near solo role in rescuing the site. From November to January, Lucy planted more than 50 native trees and shrubs while protecting them from animal browse. This resulted in Lucy becoming a full lead steward alongside Chris, her parent. Congratulations and thank you, Lucy.
The next awardee is Tiffany Malako, who volunteers as a steward with the Green Kirkland Partnership. In just a few short months, Tiffany transformed a significant portion of Windsor Vista Park in North Juanita from a blackberry-infested dump site into an early-stage healthy habitat for wildlife and people alike. Her unfailing good humor and positivity help her volunteer team tackle this difficult site and some of the largest blackberry bushes in our park system. As a leader, Tiffany asks great clarifying questions and keeps the processes moving forward while trying new ideas. Park staff attest to her team volunteering in snow, cold, and rain, cheerfully and carefully crafting the next urban neighborhood forest. The city is a better place for her commitment and leadership. She jumped into a completely new site in the middle of the pandemic and cultivated a small team of engaged volunteers in her neighborhood. And she is increasing her commitment in 2021 by taking on a new park site as a steward. Congratulations and thank you, Tiffany, for going above and beyond the call of duty.
The final awardee for Above and Beyond the Call of Duty is Sue Contreras and Kirkland Weeds, Public Works. During most of 2020, Sue organized a group of Kirkland volunteers, calling themselves Kirkland Weeds. With Sue at the helm, the group helped beautify numerous public areas, including sidewalks, medians, curb planters, and residential traffic circles. These volunteers contributed 700 volunteer hours by weeding, removing invasive blackberry, trimming vegetation, especially overgrowth into public right-of-way, and some mulching. Regular group members include Santos Contreras, Pam Hines, Tim Werner, Stephanie Dixon, Karen Lightfelt, and many others. Sue likes to help her community, that is clear. She rallies other volunteers to join in, and she gets tasks done. Project areas are left extra tidy and clear for public use. Sue's endurance is remarkable. I wish I had some of your energy. It's unbounded. Staff appreciate her timely project site updates. Sue, congratulations and thank you, and the rest of the Kirkland Weeds group.
The next awards category is behind the scenes. This award is for the individual or group who consistently fulfills their volunteer commitment and is always supportive, available, and reliable. This is the long-term volunteer who is extremely committed and is always ready for a smile to do whatever is needed. This is the individual or group you can always count on in a pinch. There are 2 individual awardees and 1 group awardee for this category. First up is Carrie Bockley, Juanita Friday Market. Carrie is an amazing volunteer. She arrives early for every shift, always with a smile. Always eager to help, she sees what's needed and is quick to get the task done. Due to the pandemic, the Juanita Market was unable to operate as it had in the past 14 years. Carrie was instrumental in the successful operation of the 2020 Juanita Friday Market, whether disinfecting surfaces, helping with vendor setup, readying garbage cans. She tackled every task with a competency and attitude that surpassed all expectations. Carrie's volunteering contributed significantly to the operation of the market for the entire season, and she was there from the first day to the last day. We therefore recognize her positive spirit and commitment, especially considering the pandemic challenges. Congratulations and thank you, Carrie.
Our next awardee is Karen Messina, Green Kirkland Partnership. Karen has contributed so much to Kirkland Parks over the years as a Green Kirkland steward at several parks, including Juanita Bay, O.O. Denny, and Edith Moulton parks. This award, however, is for her significant contributions to McAuliffe Park. During the height of the pandemic, Karen requested to jump into a new, super dense patch of ivy on one of the city's newest urban forest areas in McAuliffe. Working diligently throughout the pandemic, she and co-steward Norm McKinley removed ivy covering the entire new parcel. We celebrate Karen for her summer 2020 effort, which thoroughly accomplished this very challenging restoration goal, saving numerous mature conifer trees and shrubs and surrounding forests. So congratulations and thank you, Karen.
Our final awardee for Behind the Scenes is our Domestic Abuse Response Team, Kirkland Police Department. Barbara Albin, Yvonne Clayton, Kathy Gillis, Svetlana Kirilova, Annie Matthews, Michelle Owen, and Sonia Rao. The pandemic created an opportunity for the Kirkland Police Department to look at the domestic violence victim service in a way that allowed for social distancing. This dedicated group of community volunteers brainstormed and offered solutions to continue their service, to be available for officers and victims on domestic violence callouts. They offered a workaround solution that worked for all parties and, most importantly, assisted domestic violence victims on nights and weekends. With social distancing, volunteers were unable to come into the station to help with paperwork, but they requested, and then shared with each other, trainings to upkeep knowledge for domestic violence call response. We recognize these volunteers for their ability to be flexible, prioritize victim support, all the while researching and sharing training opportunities for continuing education during the pandemic. Congratulations and thank you, Barbara, Yvonne, Kathy, Svetlana, Annie, Michelle, and Sonia.
And now the final volunteer award category is the Eileen Trentman Youth Scholarship Award. This award is presented to one or more Kirkland teen aged 16 to 19 who demonstrated their commitment to the community through direct City of Kirkland volunteering during the previous 12 months. This year, each awardee receives $1,000 towards their future education. We have 2 awardees for this category. The first is Nellie Mex Calnul, Kirkland Youth Council. I'm promoting her already. Nellie joined the Kirkland Youth Council in the fall of 2019 as a junior at Lake Washington High School. She jumped right in with both feet and has never looked back. Nellie is always willing to help, is dependable, and truly cares about her peers and community. She has served as a judge for our Teen Traffic Court program, played a starring role in Kirkland's mask-wearing PSA, and is always the first leadership member to offer leading discussions at meetings. These leadership skills earned her a placement on the 2020-21 KYC leadership team just after 8 months being on the council. Nellie has never shied away from advocating for Latinx youth and families in our community, particularly during COVID. She asks questions and raises up struggles that she, her peers, and her family have to deal with. She elegantly speaks her truth. Not only does Nellie excel at everything she does, but she puts so much of herself into her work. She is a quiet but powerful leader and has earned the respect of both her peers and the adults in our community. Nellie is awarded a $1,000 scholarship. Congratulations and thank you, Nellie.
The second Youth Scholarship awardee is Asher Devine. Asher has been a volunteer steward with the Green Kirkland Partnership since 2015 and has contributed a tremendous 160 hours in the last 5 years. Asher engaged the community to build healthier habitat while teaching others the value of our urban forest at Crestwoods Park. His dedication to hands-on learning and growth as a leader has made him a peer among adults. Asher began as a young scout and has remained passionate and committed to the environment ever since. His service has given him hands-on experience dealing with the challenges of stewardship, both in managing people and the landscape. He has grown into a leader who is not afraid to try new ideas to solve problems while collaborating with a team of experienced adults. Asher contributes significantly to our annual goal planning at his site by bringing new ideas and novel approaches. Last year, Asher took the initiative to develop a test of several different browse protection devices for new tree plantings in his area. Now, I must say I had to do some research on this. I always thought browse protection was something on your computer that kept you from accidentally viewing bad content. But I learned something new, that a browse protection device is a tube or grate put around a new tree to keep it from being eaten by animals. One of the great things about being a city council member is getting to learn new things. Anyway, back to Asher. He saw a problem and proposed 3 low-cost ways to address the issue. He developed and researched this project and is now following through with installation and ongoing monitoring of his experiment. He possesses the self-awareness and confidence to manage his time and energy to get things accomplished as a team player. Our city is lucky to have such a motivated and professional young adult addressing real challenges in our community. Congratulations on your $1,000 scholarship, and thank you, Asher.
Neighborhoods are the building blocks of any city, and the city is enriched by our strong neighborhood associations that work alongside the city to improve the quality of life for everyone in Kirkland. Like all of us, the neighborhood associations had to adapt to holding their meetings virtually at the onset of the pandemic. Now that we're a year in, many neighborhoods report that they're engaging more people than ever at their virtual meetings, which is a true testament to the need for our neighborhood associations and the valuable service they provide to help foster community. Although most neighborhood work parties and community service projects had to be canceled or rescheduled, some were still able to take place in 2020, despite the pandemic. In August, for example, the North Rose Hill Neighborhood Association organized an ambitious park cleanup project at North Rose Woodlands Park that accommodated safety protocols, including facial coverings and fewer participants. This is just one example of many of how our neighborhood associations adapted to continue to build community amidst the challenges of the pandemic. Now let's turn our attention to this short video that gives you some more information about so many of the wonderful things that our neighborhood associations do for the city.
The City of Kirkland values civic engagement, and Kirkland's neighborhood associations play a critical role in achieving a vibrant civic life.
Kirkland has 13 neighborhood associations that in total cover the entire geographic area of the city. Neighborhood associations are independent, nonprofit organizations that focus on contributing to a thriving community and participating in local government.
All community members who reside or work in a neighborhood association boundary are welcome to participate with their neighborhood association on a voluntary basis.
Most neighborhood associations have regular meetings every month or so, which occur within their neighborhood boundaries. These open meetings are a great opportunity to learn and discuss what's happening in the community.
Representatives from the City of Kirkland or other agencies will often present topics of interest at neighborhood meetings, including collecting input from the neighborhoods on city policies or programs.
In addition to their meetings, neighborhood associations often host community building events, such as summer picnics, heritage and welcoming events, and block parties. Neighborhood associations also organize work parties and community service projects, such as park restoration and neighborhood beautification.
Representatives from each neighborhood association also participate in the Kirkland Alliance of Neighborhoods, or CAN. CAN meets every month to foster communication and awareness of issues affecting the neighborhoods among the neighborhood associations, the city, and other appropriate entities.
To support all the service within the community, the City of Kirkland makes funding available to each neighborhood association through the city's matching grant program. The city also hosts periodic events to provide leadership and skills training, as well as other special events like For the Love of Kirkland.
The city also collaborates with the neighborhood associations every year through the Neighborhood Safety Program. The Neighborhood Safety Program is a nationally recognized program that uses the community's knowledge of place to identify, prioritize, and implement safety projects in the neighborhoods.
Whether your passion is policy or picnics, safety or socializing, the neighborhood associations are a fantastic way for you to better connect with your Kirkland neighbors.
Together, we all contribute to a thriving civic life, which helps Kirkland be the best place to live, learn, work, and play.
We now would like to recognize board members of the neighborhood associations who ended their terms of service during 2020. From the Market neighborhood, Laura Harding and Jennifer Greenberg. From the Norkirk neighborhood, Heather Hendricks McAdams. And stepping down as co-chair of the Kirkland Alliance of Neighborhoods, Janet Pruitt. Thank you all for your incredible service to Kirkland neighborhoods. Our community is a more vibrant place because of you.
All right, so we are pleased tonight to be honoring all the members of the city's various boards and commissions for their tremendous commitment of time and expertise in helping to guide city decisions. Serving on a board or a commission is a way to get involved in civic engagement and immersing yourself in city policies and procedures. These civic volunteers go through a formal application and appointment process and work with other community-minded residents to help make Kirkland a better place. Serving on a board or commission can be a wonderful way to test the waters to see if you might be a good fit to serve at an even higher level, like on our city council. Several of us council members are examples of this. Our boards Our board members and commissioners are passionate about Kirkland and use this passion to help shape our community from the ground up. Boards and commissions hold formal meetings, typically on a monthly basis and sometimes more, and provide recommendations directly to the City Council. The restrictions on public meetings throughout 2020 had a dramatic effect on our boards and commissions, but they still found ways to work on their critical work. So we will now turn our attention to a brief video that provides an overview of all our boards and our commissions.
The Civil Service Commission is a group of 3 individuals who've been appointed by the city manager to 6-year terms, and their responsibilities are to review the hiring process of all public service employees. That would be firefighters and police officers. The value of the Civil Service Commission is it meets our requirements. It's also an opportunity for our community to get involved in the things that we do in city government. So I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the city and the City Council to all of the boards and commissioners, and in particular to this group of 3 for their long service.
The Kirkland Cultural Arts Commission was formed in 2002 to advise the Council on investments in arts and culture. In addition to coordinating public art installments throughout our city, it helps facilitate the 1% for Art program, in which eligible capital improvement projects spend a minimum of 1% of the total budget on public art. Thanks to the efforts of the Cultural Arts Commission over the years, our community is decorated with meaningful art positioned in our parks and public spaces and at city facilities. It serves an important reminder of how vibrant and beautiful art and culture can be, and we look forward to enhancing the diversity of our collection in alignment with Resolution R 5434, which aims to end structural racism in Kirkland. I want to thank all those that currently serve and who have served on the Cultural Arts Commission for their hard work, dedication, and their contribution to the city.
The Design Review Board reviews projects for consistency with the applicable business district design guidelines and approved master plans. More simply put, this board helps shape the visual character of our community. The 7 members of the Design Review Board are appointed by the City Council to 4-year terms. The Design Review Board plays an integral role in assuring that the city's growth is accommodated in ways that make sense and are in aesthetic alignment with the unique charm of Kirkland. Huge thanks to the Design Review Board for its important work in making sure that Kirkland retains its well-loved character and curb appeal. The Disability Board is a 5-member board tasked with reviewing and approving medical claims for our brave retired firefighters and law enforcement officers. Thank you very much to those that serve on the board, and thank you to all our retired firefighters and law enforcement officers.
Kirkland Landmarks Commission represents the city of Kirkland on the King County Landmarks Commission, and this representative looks out for our local heritage. The Landmarks Commission really helps in identifying and preserving those landmarks that we want to make sure future generations are aware of. Thank you for your service on the Landmarks Commission.
The Human Services Commission is an advisory board tasked with guiding the city's efforts to support a socially sustainable community. This vital commission assists the Parks and Community Services Department, our city manager, and the City Council as they strive to equitably enhance the quality of life for our residents, despite economic barriers. The Human Services Commission changes lives, improves outcomes, and brightens futures. It's an investment in our community to help ensure that every person has an equal chance to succeed. Thank you, Human Services Commission, for all your work to make Kirkland a better place and for helping to ensure better futures for our residents in need. Your efforts are appreciated.
The members of the Kirkland Youth Council, and there's about 40 of them, do a lot of important things for the city. They run the Youth Traffic Court. They help run the Teen Center. They produce an annual Youth Summit. They do a number of service projects all throughout the city. But most importantly, they advise the City Council on issues important to youth. And they also do outreach to their peers on issues that are important to the cities to encourage participation and giving us their feedback. They're the future of our community, and unless we can build programs that help them be successful, then we're not fulfilling our responsibility as a council. We very much appreciate the many hours of hard work that the members of the Kirkland Youth Council put into serving our community.
The library board consists of 5 adults and 1 youth member selected by the City Council, but serving with the King County Library Association in terms of both promoting the library, but also assuring that there is a huge diversity of interesting and fulfilling materials in the library, enough to meet all of Kirkland's needs. Thank you to all of you who serve on the library board. You're doing a great job.
The Park Board serves as your voice to the City Council on anything to do with parks. They're a great group of volunteers who play in our parks, recreate in our parks, send their children to park programs, and they are your voice to City Council on any issues to do with parks. Thank you to the wonderful members of the Park Board. I love you. You do a great job. Thanks for your service.
Kirkland, in creating the 2035 plan, envisioned a vibrant, connected, green, sustainable, walkable city. And the Planning Commission really does all the work to make that happen. It's about building 10-minute neighborhoods. It's about making Totem Lake happen. It's about recommitting to our neighborhood planning process. The City Council really appreciates the work you do. We'd like to thank the members of the Planning Commission for your service.
So the Salary Commission is an organization that's set by state law that sets the salaries and healthcare benefits of the City Council members in the City of Kirkland. So all of our City Council members serve because they love the City of Kirkland, but it's also a job. And so what the Salary Commission does is, in an independent and objective way, is they set salaries and benefits for the City Council that are competitive with those jobs around the region. And so what that helps us do is make sure that we have the best and the brightest who want to serve on our City Council. So on behalf of the City of Kirkland, I'd like to thank the 3 members of the Salary Commission for the important work that they do for us all. Thank you.
The Senior Council was established in 2002 to advise the City Council on how to make Kirkland a safe and vibrant community for those over 50. And what's been great about the Senior Council is they've taken the role with such energy. It's not just about advising us. They're actually doing the work to make this a safe, vibrant, inclusive community for everybody. You look at Viva Volunteers, the art fair, the health fair, the informational meetings. All this work contributes mightily to the vibrant community that we envision. To the members of the Senior Council, thank you so much for all your work and all your volunteering and all your energy.
The Tourism Development Committee is created by state law, and it consists of 3 people from the hotel industry who pay hotel motel tax, and 3 people who are eligible to receive the hotel motel tax to try to promote tourism in Kirkland. Plus, the chair of the Tourism Development Committee is a member of the City Council. That would be me. Among the things that are funded through our tourism development funds are the city's tourism website, explorekirkland.com, which tells people all about the different things to do around Kirkland. And also we use some funding to help promote all the events we have in Kirkland. It's over 20 different events that we hold, including the Softball World Series, and Summerfest and Winterfest, the 4th of July. All of these are supported from a promotional capability by the Tourism Development Funds. We very much appreciate the hard work put in by the members of the Tourism Development Committee to help promote the businesses throughout Kirkland by bringing more tourists to the city. Thank you.
Well, in Kirkland, providing a safe and reliable transportation system for all modes of travel is of critical importance, and therefore we have a transportation commission that provides input. Actually, more than half of the commissioners are made up of experts in the transportation profession. And so we're basically getting free advice from these experts that live in our community, that use our transportation system, and then can provide us meaningful information on how we can do better, how we can continue to improve, how we can build the projects that the community desires and needs, how we can work with our regional partners better, Metro, WashDOT, Sound Transit, and then how can we engage our community better to make more informed decisions around those investments that we need to be making. I'm here today because I got my start serving on the Transportation Commission, getting involved in the community, finding something that I was passionate about, and you just never know where these types of volunteer opportunities will lead down the road. Just want to say thank you to all the commissioners on the Transportation Commission. Thank you for your service and the hours that you contribute to the city.
Phew. Wow. Thank you to anyone who serves or who has ever served on one of Kirkland's boards or commissions. We would now like to recognize members of our boards and commissions who are ending their terms of service. First, from the Cultural Arts Commission, Barbie Collins-Young, Don Laurent, Dana Nonnelly, and Teresa Thompson. Thank you. And from the Design Review Board, Tim Olson. Thank you. And from the Human Services Commission, Diane Bell, David Godfrey, and Max Reisman. From the Park Board, Richard Chung and Heather McKnight. Thank you. And from the Tourism Development Committee, Danielle Dorland. From the Transportation Commission, Terry Marpert and Douglas Jacobson. From the Senior Council, Karen Koenig and Richard Willard. Thank you. And finally, from the Youth Council, Braden Brackett, Nellie Connell, Gavin Haberl, Kayla Huff, Eliana Sanchez, and Robin Ying. Thank you all for your incredible service to Kirkland. Our community is a better place because of your effort, time, and talent.
And now for our final commendation of the evening. We'd like to honor the volunteers who served on 2 advisory groups, the Community Safety Advisory Group, or ComSAG, and the Welcoming Kirkland Initiative Planning and Working Groups. First, I was lucky enough to serve as the chair of ComSAG, which convened in October of 2019 to advise the City Council on a potential fire and emergency medical services measure that was ultimately placed on the November 3rd, 2020 ballot. There were a volunteer group made up of a wide range of community members, including representatives from our neighborhood associations, the Kirkland Senior Council, the Youth Council, the Houghton Community Council, Kirkland Kiwanis, Google, the Greater Kirkland Chamber of Commerce, Kirkland Indivisible, and Kirkland Safe. For 5 months, the ComSAG was immersed in a world of fire and emergency services. They were educated on ways that emergency medical services have changed over time and given crucial insight into emergency response and what it takes to save lives. They were thoughtful and deliberate, and they asked the tough questions, made careful assessments, and crafted an informed recommendation to our City Council, and many of them stayed with us all the way through the campaign. Thank you.
When asked to reconvene after the onset of COVID-19 in March 2020, they didn't hesitate. When asked to re-examine their recommendations to ensure that they still stood by them in the face of COVID-19 emergency, they did so with enthusiasm. And based on the careful recommendations of the ComSAG, the City Council moved to place Proposition 1 on the November 3rd ballot. The measure passed with a resounding 71% approval rate. The city is now well underway on implementing the elements of Fire Prop 1 and the long-lasting benefits for our community's safety, and well-being are all thanks to ComSAG. We would not be where we are today without the advisement of ComSAG. Thank you very much.
Finally, we want to express our deep gratitude for the work of the Welcoming Kirkland Initiative planning and working groups. Welcoming Kirkland was a community engagement partnership between the City of Kirkland and Leadership Eastside. It was developed in response to concerns that people of color in general, and Black people in particular, have lived experiences of an unwelcoming and inequitable community in contrast to the city's stated goal to be safe, inclusive, and welcoming for all. Developed to address concerns that were raised after a 2018 incident at Menchie's in Totem Lake, the initiative sought to engage Kirkland residents, businesses, nonprofits, and the city on how we function together for the health of the overall community.
After months of critical planning, the comprehensive community engagement kicked off in January of 2020 with a series of town hall events and a community learning series envisioned and supported by Eastside for All, entitled Kirkland Talks About Racism. COVID-19 unfortunately cut the series short. However, the relationships, learnings, and practices that came as a result of Welcoming Kirkland have made a lasting positive impact on our community and the city. So a huge thank you to the Welcoming Kirkland planning and working groups for your hard, dedicated work in helping make Kirkland a more equitable and safe place.
And with that, we come to the end of our 2021 Community Appreciation and Awards Night celebration. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all so much for everything you do to make Kirkland the best place in the world to live, learn, work, and play. We've lived through the COVID year. Let's make next year even stronger. Thank you all.